All right, dinosaurs are great. We all love dinosaurs, but dinosaurs were not the only organisms that dominated the Mesozoic. This was a time when a lot of different groups of animals adaptively radiated, meaning that they evolved into all of the available niches, not just the shallow seas, but also the skies, the forests, the deserts, the lakes, everywhere. There was a lot of adaptive radiation filling in these open niches. Reptiles were really good at filling in these niches. No dinosaurs could fly or could live in the ocean. Reptiles, though, were able to fill those niches. So pterosaurs, these are flying reptiles. They are not dinosaurs, they're flying reptiles, and they dominated the skies for over 100 million years during the Mesozoic. One of the most familiar of these pterosaurs, or the ones that are most familiar during the Jurassic and the Cretaceous, were really long-jawed. They also had, their wings were made out of their fingers, so the bones of the fourth digit was lengthened and helped support the wing. And the next 3 digits were just ordinary length, and they terminated as claws. So they kind of still had hands, whereas just a couple fingers extended to form those wings. Now, some of them were huge, the size of giraffes. Can you imagine something the size of a giraffe flying around in the sky? Oh, wild. Now, I mentioned that pterosaurs are not dinosaurs. Pterosaurs and dinosaurs do share a common ancestor that lived about 240 million years ago. But the ancestor of dinosaurs and pterosaurs and crocodilians and birds and all of those, the common ancestor of all of those organisms split off, which makes pterosaurs not related or not part of the dinosaurs, right? So pterosaurs are no more dinosaurs than we are chimpanzees, right? We're related, we're kind of like cousins, but we're not the same group. So I said that reptiles not only dominated the skies, they also moved back into the ocean. An example of this is the Ichthyosaur. So we've spent so long talking about how fish evolved to be amphibians moving out of the ocean. Well, now some of the reptiles decided they wanted to go back in. Right? So these reptiles evolved to allow them to live in the ocean. So their limbs evolved back into flippers. They still breathed air, just like modern day cetaceans, like dolphins, whales, right? But they lived in the ocean. They were able to stay submerged for a very long period of time. So the most fish-like of the marine reptiles were the ichthyosaurs. And in many ways, they were the reptile equivalent of modern day whales, right? Whales are mammals. Ichthyosaurs were reptiles, but both of them evolved back to live in the ocean. Ichthyosaurs weren't the only marine reptiles, though. We also have plesiosaurs, which I think are ridiculously looking, but also terrifying. These had incredibly long necks, really long flippers that allowed them to move around, and really skinny, slender, curved teeth, perfect for ensnaring fish. There were also mosasaurs, which were a highly successful group of giant marine lizards. They had large, sharp teeth, really long bodies. The lower jaw had an extra hinge, which allowed it to open its mouth huge, kind of like a snake, to grasp really large prey. These guys definitely could have eaten us, right? And we actually have fossil evidence of them eating sea creatures like hominoids. All right, less spectacular than the mosasaurs, but I think just as cool were the sea turtles. And they actually lived for a longer period of time. They're still around today, whereas the mosasaur is not, right? The sea turtles of the Mesozoic they could be huge. They trended towards giganticism. For example, one turtle alive during the Cretaceous was 4 meters across. This is 12 feet across, right? Huge turtles.